From the New York City area, welcome to the Badass Counseling Show, where the master badass himself, Sven takes you deep and gives balm for the soul, baby.
Welcome to the Badass Counseling Show, wherever you are joining us, from Gothenburg, Sweden, to Gatlinburg in the U.S., from Ontario to Osaka, from Montauk to Mendocino, and of course all our friends down under and in South Africa and across Europe. Welcome to our show. It's great to have you here. You've reached the Badass Counseling Show. I am the host, Sven Erlandson, and I am joined by my team in studio. I have Rob the Rocket, and we have KC, not in the booth. She is joining us remotely. Rob, KC, how are you guys?
I'm doing fine, doing okay. Happy to be here and ready to rock.
Right on. KC, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Sven. How are you?
Lovely. Is the sun shining where you are today, KC?
It actually is, for a change.
Nice. That puts a kick in the step, right?
It definitely does.
Lovely. Well, Rob, I think we're ready to go. Will you go ahead and tell us about Anya?
Happy to, Sven. Anya wrote in and said, I struggle with my ex-husband not being sorry. I struggle with being replaced. I struggle with him moving on. I struggle with all the details of his affair and the things that were said. The month the divorce was final, he was with the affair person, lying to our kids. He discarded the affair person and then found a new supply, moved her into our home, and now I must suck it up and deal with it. Why do I always have to be the bigger person and deal with all this bullshit? I struggle with not being loved by him because if he loved me, he wouldn't have done this, right? I struggle with acceptance of my new reality. I replay the past and wish that it hadn't happened, or I wish I could have done something different. I miss my family and everything I lost. It feels unfair that I had to make a choice that I didn't want to make. I didn't want to leave and miss out on what our family could have been. I feel like I lost everything because of his choices and his unwillingness to understand how bad he hurt me. He doesn't care. He lost nothing. How can I make sense of all of this and be okay? I don't want my relationship with my kids to be affected. I'm still very bitter and angry with their dad. How can I best deal with it?
Anya, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here. I'm going to sort of hit a bunch of questions here, sort of rapid fire, if we could. I want to start right up there at the top. I struggle with all the details of his affair and the things that were said. Specifically, what is the number one biggest thing of the affair and all the things that were said? Of all of that sort of big mess, what's the number one thing you struggle with most?
I think the longevity of it. We were married for 17 years. The affair lasted over 8 years. I found the affair via email. 3 days before my birthday, I stumbled on an email, and that's when I found out they were going to hook up once again, and then kind of all the details unraveled. I saw emails where they would make fun of me, and so.
But hold on. So which is worse, the length or the emails and all that was done within the context of the affair? What is the single hardest part about it? Top of the list. There's a million things. Of course, I don't mean to insult you, but what's the absolute worst part?
I think it's the things that were said.
And what was the single most painful thing that was said about you in their affair?
I think it was an email where we had gone out to dinner for my daughter's birthday, and they literally come back and she's like, well, it's like a $300 dinner, and she's like, well, I bet you didn't even get laid. And
that hurt so much because?
I think because he blamed so much of the affair on me, our intimacy or lack of thereof, and time and just other things. And so I think it just, it's just really hard.
And why does that hurt so much? That, I bet you didn't even get laid, and blaming it on the intimacy and you and the time and all of this, that it's all being blamed on you. Why, in one sentence or less, does that hurt so much? For those people who are listening who have never been cheated on, why is that so painful in one sentence or less?
Because it makes me feel inadequate. Yeah.
And so if I'm hearing you correctly then, I had asked you what's the single hardest part about the whole affair. You said, at first you said longevity, but then you switched your answer to what was said. I asked you what was the biggest, hardest thing that was said, and you said basically that quote about, and a $300 dinner, I'll bet you didn't even get laid for that. And that the things about you not even, it was your failure on intimacy. It was your failure on time. It was your failure. And so as a result, all of it leads to the thread of that in the end, what hurts the most is it makes me feel inadequate.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. And just so that you are aware, and maybe you know it, maybe you don't, whatever. If you know it, okay. That action of blaming you is one of the most common parts of cheating. It's blaming the other person. I didn't do anything wrong. No, and the reason they don't want to blame themselves is because so that I can just go on about my life. I don't have to worry about any pain. I don't have to apologize. And I can say I'm great, and I can tell everyone my story, and everybody thinks I'm great, and you're the problem. And you actually went on to say later that you made the statement of, how come, you said, why do I always have to be the bigger person and deal with all his bullshit? Is that the bullshit you're referring to of being blamed for everything? Or is there some other bullshit you're referring to? You said he discarded the affair person, then found a new supply, moved her into our home, and now I must suck it up and deal with it. Why? And then you say this, why do I always have to be the bigger person and deal with all his bullshit? What is the bullshit that you are referring to that you have to deal with? Is it that I'm having to deal with the bullshit of all the pain of feeling inadequate because of his words and their words? Or is there some other bullshit? What fundamentally is the bullshit that you're referring to that you have to deal with?
So I think it's obviously rebuilding my self-esteem, but then also being a sounding board for my children who, after a fair person came into the picture, he was lying to them. They figured that out. They come to me. And then the new person that moved in way too soon. And then they obviously don't like it. And then they come to me. And then, just trying to handle that in a right way while I'm still hurting and trying to heal. But yet I'm so angry because, that was my home. And then my kids are in that home. He's in that home. And then now new person's in that home.
All right. So the bullshit you're having to deal with is one, rebuilding my own self-esteem, which of course was destroyed because he left you, and anytime anyone is left for someone else, I'm not good enough. That inadequacy makes total sense. And then to be left after, I believe you said 17 years of marriage. Is that right?
Yes.
And then to have someone cheating for 8 years, it's like, I definitely feel inadequate. That makes total sense. And then on top of it, you're having to you're the one dealing with the kids and all their issues in all likelihood based on what you're describing in him. He's not. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't want to deal with that shit. Right. So the bullshit you're having to deal with is those two things. And then on top of it, you said, I'm really angry. And you mentioned that in your write-up that you sent in. What, above all else, is the single biggest thing that you are most angry about? Boil it down to one sentence.
I got really screwed over in the divorce. I was emotionally down. We used the same attorney. I didn't get half of anything. And I basically got a small percentage of what I actually would be entitled to because I just couldn't fight. I just wanted out. And now I'm struggling and he's just living his life.
Okay. That makes total sense. Hell, I'm pissed hearing it. I totally get that. Yeah. And unfortunately, I see that a lot. I see it a lot. That the person who's taken the hardest blow from it and who was really invested and who was weakened by it and felt inadequate and got really hurt by it, goes into that divorce weakened. And then if you're using the same lawyer, even the best lawyer, I'm sorry, somebody's going to get fucked. And you just want to give in. And you even mentioned sort of in here the regrets and, gee, what did we do wrong? Almost as if I wish it weren't so. A part of you potentially still longs for it, which means you were in that divorce still longing for it. And so there was, potentially you were willing to give in, and I just wanted to be out of it, but also there potentially a part of you longed for it. And so, in other words, you didn't fight for yourself. You weren't in any position to fight, and no one was fighting on your behalf, and he was happy to run you into the ground. So yeah, you got fucked. I totally understand why you're angry. Of course. Makes total sense. Makes total sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you mentioned he discarded the affair person, then found a new supply, moved her into our home, and now I must suck it up and deal with it. What, above all else, is the biggest thing that you have to deal with? Is that what you're referring to in terms of the rebuilding my self-esteem and being there for the kids? Is that what you're referring to again? Or what's the biggest thing you have to deal with?
Yeah, I think it's just, seeing him, I guess it's unfair, like seeing him be happy or seeing him be in a relationship. And then I'm more focused right now just on the kids, and their lives. And then, financially struggling, and he's just, I guess, living life. And then at the end of the day, is he sorry? No.
No.
No. The day we signed the divorce papers, he said to me, he goes, there's a reason that happened. And he said, this is via text. And he said, had you cared and respected me for the life that I gave you, that it would have never happened.
No, he's a fucking asshole. No, he's a fucking asshole. This is just him dumping it on you. That's just bullshit. The truth is, if there were any validity, like he's basically trying to give a logic argument that because of what you did, I was justified in what I did. There is no logic that justifies cheating, except in extreme cases of abuse where the only way a person can get out of an extraordinarily abusive situation is by cheating, because then the person doesn't want them anymore. And that's so bloody rare. Except for that, there's no justification for cheating, for taking advantage of another person, and him also checking out. So he wasn't fucking investing in you, and it's just bullshit. He's just feeding you a load of shit to rub your fucking nose in it and to make himself believe that I'm above it all. Mm-hmm. Okay. What do your children believe presently? First of all, how old are your children?
23, 22, and 19.
23, 22, and 19. And roughly, what do your kids believe at this point?
They obviously, they know all the terms, I guess, everything that happened with the affair. Two of them have a good relationship with their dad. One does not. So, they believe that he was a shitty husband, but a good dad. So.
All right. And just out of curiosity, which of the three children does not have a good relationship with the dad?
The middle child.
Okay. Male or female?
Female.
Got it.
They're all female.
Oh, all female. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
And part of what's going on also in a child is those children, despite what they may think and feel about everything that happened, children are still, and it's present in adults into their 60s, 70s, 80s, are still wanting the approval and the love of the parent. And they are so young that so they likely are very, very conflicted inside of themselves, Anya. And so that doesn't work in your favor. And the real truth is they don't exist to meet your needs. And I know you know this, but the idea of, them taking my side versus his side, and I'm sure he wants that, but that's playing the kids as pawns, and they don't exist to meet my love needs and so forth. But you being there for them, which you said I'm having to be there for my kids and help them sort through it. Which of your kids are you having to most help sort through their shit, of kids 1, 2, and 3?
I would say 2 and 3.
2 and 3.
So two lives with me currently, and 3 is in college. And then the oldest is already graduated teaching. She's out of so she's kind of on her own. Mm-hmm. But the middle child lives with me, and then But the youngest child, I don't know, she has a hard time with a new person. So she leans on me for that. So
right. And do the children know the terms of the divorce? Financial terms of the divorce?
Yeah, they do.
Okay. Well, another piece is this, Mom. Your children are young, and what you need to be thinking about is precisely what you are thinking about, helping them through their problems, all right? And yes, you are fighting a two-front war. One is the war inside of yourself of all the pain, the hurt, the fucking rage, the longing, the resentment, all of it. And 2 is the war that's going on inside of your own children. And it is your job, to the degree they will let you, it is your job to help them deal with the fallout of the pain that, at least in their eyes, my parents caused me.
Yeah.
Now, you didn't cause that shit. Right. I mean, residually, sure. Are there things that you think you could have done differently? Sure. But he did those years of cheating. All right. So I'm sorry. And then bringing new people into the house and shit like that. The guy's a fucking child. Obviously, he doesn't understand parenting. And just for the record, should you choose to play this card, for the children that say, oh, dad's a good dad, really, then why did he bring a new person into your house? I believe twice, 2 different people, right? The first one and then the second one. And then just saying to your kids, do you really believe that's good parenting? And they already have their answer to that question. No, that's not good parenting. So then the question becomes, if he's making a decision like that when you are 18 or 20, just out of curiosity, kids, did your dad undergo some massive transformation of character? Or is he roughly the same person he's always been? Well, he's roughly the same person he's always been. So if he's making those decisions when you're fucking 20, isn't it reasonable to assume he's been making the same or similar selfish decisions your whole life?
Right.
So even though, sure, he showed up at your games, or even though he always, slipped you a $20 bill, is it possible, if you were to, as you age, to view your father's parenting through a different lens, you might see that it was always inflected with a selfishness that you didn't see before. Anyway, separate issue. All right. So next question. I struggle with not being loved by him, because if he loved me, he wouldn't have done this, right? Correct. That's not love. There's no definition of love under which you cheat on someone. That's not love. There are people, there are therapists, there are actually well-known therapists on radio and on TV who say, well, it is blah, blah, blah. No. Fix your shit. Either fix your shit, fix the relationship, or get the fuck out. There's no justification for cheating. Right. That's not love. It's not. It's fucking bullshit is what it is. Grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up. I'm sure there were many times where you would have loved to do a million things other than fucking try to work shit out. Not the least of which is like, take $5,000, go take a goddamn vacation from his fucking headaches. Anything, a million things. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And there's things called decency and kindness and respect. No, but you're right. Yeah, that's just not love.
Not love. No.
No, it's selfishness. And then the fact that to do it again and again and again over 8 years. That's just a blatant fuck you. And the biggest fuck you about that, or another big part about that, is simultaneously he's getting that affair person pouring love into his love cup, and you serving his needs at home.
Yep.
Why would he leave you? No, I'm getting all these needs met and the needs from the new person. I get 2 women pouring love into my love cup. You fucking used me, you fucking asshole. You fucking used me. You didn't have the decency to even break it up, you gutless punk, you coward. Yeah. Okay, so then, moving forward, I struggle. What are you giggling about?
Because it sounds great. I wish I could say all this to him.
Well, and the truth, okay, so then that raises a question. That raises a really interesting question.
But what does it do?
No, that's not the question.
No.
The question is, what do you want it to do? Why would you, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to say it. I totally get that. I want to yell at my enemies. I want to punch them in the face, or, metaphorically speaking. But what is the result that you would want? You just opened a door there. So let's just walk in momentarily. That I wish I could say it to him or to his face. What would be the result that you would want, top of the list, if you were able to say it to his face? He probably wouldn't do it, but if he were, what's the result you would want?
That you didn't break me. That I know you're a piece of shit. I guess, but I just never was strong enough to like stand up to him or fight him or anything.
And why do you want him to know you didn't break me?
Because I think he feels like that my life is going to be awful without him.
Why do you want him to
Why?
know that my life's not going to be awful without you? Why do you want him to know that he didn't break you? Why?
Well, I guess I want to hurt him in a way that he hurt me. I want him to be sorry, but I don't know if he'll ever be sorry.
Okay. Now I want to hurt him is different from I want him to be sorry. Now, if I hurt him, that might drive him to then be sorry. So
Right.
which is it? I want to hurt him, or ultimately I want him to be sorry and to express that sorrow and I'm sorry to me. What do you really want?
I think the number one would be the sorry.
And the reason I want him to be sorry is why? If he were sorry, I would feel what?
I don't know. I don't know if I would feel closure or if I would feel
I'm not
validated.
asking for a specific one. I'm just asking what would it feel like if he genuinely felt sorry, whether it was by you hurting him or he just had an epiphany from the heavens or whatever it is. If he felt sorry, genuinely sorry, and expressed it to you, what would you feel?
Oh, maybe nothing. Maybe it wouldn't.
But if you did, you want it for a reason.
Yeah.
So I want you to go there, use that big
yeah.
brain of yours. What would you feel in all likelihood? What do you want to feel from it? What do you think you would feel if he genuinely meant it?
I would hate to say the word like love, but appreciation or love or
Okay, you would feel love.
yeah.
And if you felt love, then what? Then what would you want to happen? If you felt love, because you didn't say loved, although maybe did you mean loved, like he loves me, or I feel love like I love him? Which is it?
silly enough, maybe just that he actually did love me.
Okay.
He is
So
sorry. It's love, yeah.
But you said love as in present tense, that he does love me. And if he does love me, then what?
Yeah, I don't know.
Come on, don't lose the thread. Play with it. Don't quit. And we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come right back, and I'm going to ask you that question. If he does love you, then what do you want from that?
They say you learn from experience, but after being cheated on twice, once by a girlfriend and once by a boyfriend, the only thing I'd learned was how to hurt. My friends meant well, but their advice was always the same: leave or work it out. But what about the person left in the middle? I found a book that finally spoke my language. It's called Cheating Sucks. It's not a manual on how to handle an ex. It's a deep, powerful dive into how to handle yourself when your world gets flipped. It's been the most important part of my recovery because it doesn't have an agenda. It doesn't care if I reconcile or if I walk away. It just cares that I'm okay. It's heavy, it's honest, and it's the first thing that actually helps me breathe again. If you're where I was, stop listening to the noise and start reading. Visit badasscounseling.com right now to grab your copy or audio of Cheating Sucks. You don't have to decide your future today. You just have to start healing.
This show provides soul counseling intended to entertain and inform and is not medical advice. Now, back to the badass.
All right, Anya, we are back. If he felt sorry, maybe you were able to hurt him and he felt genuinely sorry, and then you felt love from him, and he realized he does love you, then what? What is it you want then? If you could have it your way, then what?
I could have it my way. I don't know. I guess I would feel peace or validation that
Understood.
like all those years weren't lost. Like,
Okay?
obviously
It wasn't a waste.
it wasn't a waste. Obviously we have our 3 beautiful children but that's a lot of life to live. And then one day wake up and you're like, I don't even know what was going on.
Mm-hmm. And
So much of it was,
yeah, so much of it was what?
so much of it was a lie. I mean, so much of it, and he never would have told me. I found it,
Yep.
so.
And so then let me ask you this one. So you then feel the love from him, and then you have a sense of peace that that there was love there, that he did love you, does love you, what percent, if you're being totally honest, now I need you to get like gut raw honest, that if he did have that breakthrough and he does love you, what percent do you want the relationship back? Be honest.
Right now,
If he expressed
Yeah.
that love, if he had the breakthrough, what percent?
let's say 40%.
And if that 40% weren't quite accurate, what would be the percent that is the most accurate number? What percent do you want your marriage back?
Maybe 50%.
Okay. So there's a significant part of you that still wants your marriage back, and that's okay. But only, of course, if he actually loved you. And part of what you're dealing with is the struggle of, shit, it's a waste. It feels like a waste. And that was 17 years of my life. And he didn't even love me. And so half of it was a lie. And he was in this affair. And the truth is, if the affair started 8 years ago, it's reasonable to assume that he didn't wake up one day and think, I don't love her anymore. I'm going to have an affair today. No, he stopped loving you, stopped giving a shit about you long before that.
Right.
It didn't just, the same day his waning love for you happened wasn't the same day he started an affair. That was a lead up. It takes time to get to that stage. So a significant part of you still wants that relationship. And so that what that means is part of what's keeping you stuck isn't just the rage. It's the love. Part of what you need to be journaling on and writing letters to him that you don't send, besides the rage letters, fuck you, you fucking asshole, you fucked me over, you inconsequential coward of a human being, I hate you so much. Those letters, and if you are not writing those letters and journaling about that, you are making a giant mistake, because all of that pain is inside of you. And if you are not writing letters of sadness and grief, and you are grieving the death of your marriage, the death of the dream that was your family. It's done the way it was. Yeah. Now your family is taking on a whole new form that has not congealed yet. So you are grieving the death. You are unleashing all the venom in your spirit, and you have a massive amount of love in you still, and longing. And that can be hard to admit or want to look at when you're feeling all this fucking anger.
Yeah.
But it's a natural human feeling. And all that, if you want to actually move on, if you actually want that, then the love has to come out, the rage has to come out, and the sadness has to come out. You said numerous times, I'm struggling. I'm still very bitter and angry with their dad. You also talk about how do I make sense of it? I'm caught in all this thing. What's keeping you stuck isn't the facts per se. It's all the feelings around those facts. You have the memories, you have the facts, and then you have the emotional charges attached to those facts. If you remove the emotional charges, which is what journaling is for, which is what letter writing is for, therapy is for that as well, but you can be doing so much of this on your own. You remove those emotional charges, and that's how you heal. That's the healing. And then you are moving on too. That motherfucker has no interest in touching his emotional shit, which is why, bad news for him, he's forever going to lack a connection with his kids. It will only go to a certain level because he doesn't want to touch his emotional shit. And he sure as shit doesn't, I'm willing to bet, doesn't want to truly touch the pain that he has caused them, which he'll have to own one day. I mean, let me ask you, what do you think the likelihood is that he's going to want to truly feel the pain that he has caused his daughters?
He won't.
Exactly.
I sat down and told them initially when I found out, I held it from everyone for as long as I could. And then sat down and I told the girls what happened. So he had to face it. So he sat down, he had a conversation with them, and he said, well, your mom and I have always had problems. And,
And so he thinks he can just logic that thing away and it's gone, it's done. We talked about it, it's done now. right?
Yep.
And that he feels like that's a short term, or he thinks that's a short term fix, but in the long term, that will lead to a disconnect because
Yeah.
children want to feel an emotional connection to their parents.
Yeah.
And so his relationship, even if he has a relationship, it will only go so far.
Yeah.
Right. And you will have a deeper, richer relationship with your kids. And there will be fights, and it will be harder in some respects, but it will be deeper and have more texture to it. Just one or two more questions, then I want to bring Rob and or KC into this. You mentioned, I replay the past and wish it hadn't happened. Why? What above all else is the fundamental reason you wish it hadn't happened?
I think I'm like too much like looking like at people that we know, and like as your kids get older, and things like start to happen, like weddings and grandkids and the sharing, like you miss out on things because you're not there. So like my daughter brought home her boyfriend, and I didn't get to meet him first, her dad did, and her dad, and so you miss out on things that I feel like I shouldn't miss out on.
Yeah.
We should be a unit, and we're not.
Yep. How long have you guys been apart? How long have you been out of the home?
A little over 3 years ago, or I guess moved out probably 4 years ago. Divorce has been final for 3 years.
Okay. And so there are still so many firsts happening that, you're missing out on, and so forth. And the thing, and you are grieving that. That is another thing that you are grieving. More that you need to be writing about. You have to be doing this, putting your feelings about that into writing, pouring it out, getting this out. In the end, though you will miss some of those events, you're going to. It's inevitable. You are going to miss some of those. What you have are the relationships. You have the connections, and you're going to get events that he's not going to have. Not that it's a tit for tat, but the point is it is still nonetheless about the relationships that you have with your daughters, the relationships you will have with your grandchildren, should you be blessed with them. And it's still about that. And you have a great opportunity in this time you're not with your children. You have this great opportunity to do your healing now. Because it would be even harder if they were all under your roof. Yes, that would be nice, but it would be even harder because you would just have more balls in the air. And you said you lost everything. Yes, but the benefit is you also lost a man who didn't want you, so that's good. Upside, there's an upside. I know this feels like a time of tremendous loss, and it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is. However, I can tell you this from personal experience. I had 2 kids when my first divorce went through. Wasn't my divorce. And having counseled hundreds, if not thousands, of couples over the years, I can tell you this, that invariably the ones who do the healing, that do the work to heal, will come back 2, 5, 10 years later and say, oh my God, that happening, since I did the work, that happening was the single most liberating event in my life. It forced me to change. It forced me to grow. It was painful as fuck. But it really was it stripped me of so many things I didn't want to be stripped of, but I'm so glad I was stripped of those things, and it gave me the opportunity to start over, even though that was the last thing I thought I wanted. And I know I'm speaking a foreign language to you right now, and it feels like the last thing you want, but this is such a stripping away of. And the truth is, it is hard right now. Very hard, especially with the way you got fucking basically raped in that divorce, and that sucks. And I was on the receiving end of that. I get it. All right. My ex-father-in-law was the general counsel of the Securities Exchange Commission. He was a heavy hitter lawyer. All right. And one of his buddies did my ex-wife's divorce. So I know what it's like to get raped in a divorce. Okay.
To get screwed.
Right. And so I get it. And I played the long game. And here we are 25 years later or more, 30 years later. And I am very, very extraordinarily close with my kids. Have a very loving and close relationship with my kids and with my daughters-in-law and grandchildren, newborns and so forth. So life is long, Mom. Life is long, and the single smartest thing you can do right now is do everything in your power to heal yourself. Nothing will have a more positive long-term impact on your children than you getting out all of that pain, all of the grief, all of the sadness, all of the rage, and all of the love. Casey and Rob, I want to bring you in. Rob, you first. Casey, go ahead and come on in, but I'm going to just throw it to Rob first while you're checking in here. Go ahead, Rob.
Sven, I endorse everything that you've been saying, and you and I have both been there, and I feel so bad for Anya, and I certainly understand her feelings. It was compounded by the way she was treated after the divorce. Makes it just that much harder. My question for you, though, is, and this is one I've experienced myself, and many of us have, if you blame yourself after being cheated on, what's the very first step you should take to straightening that out in your mind and healing?
Well, the first thing I'd say is just get your feelings out regarding it. If you need to write a letter at yourself, raging at yourself, go for it. Get it out of your system, as Mom would say. Go outside, get it out of your system, Mom would say. You need to yell and scream, do it. You get one letter to yell at yourself. I'm so stupid, I'm a fathead. Gosh, how could I not see it? Da, 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 da. Get it out of your system. And then after that's out of your system, then the real trick is this. Do you have the courage to be just as merciless towards him? Because some people are pros at beating themselves up. Are you a pro?
Right.
Are you a pro at beating yourself up, Anya?
Yes.
Exactly.
Goes hand in hand, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's easy for you. That's nothing for you. It's hand in glove for you to beat yourself up. Now, then the challenge is I gave you what you wanted. I gave you the opportunity to beat the hell out of yourself. Okay. Now, with that same level of venom, with the venom dripping from your fangs like a cobra, unleash hell on him in a letter. Everything. Every nasty, vile, disgusting swear word you can think of. You go through, you bullet point every single thing he did. You write about your feelings of every single memory. I'm serious. Every single fucking memory. Start with the most recent and go backwards or vice versa. Everything. And keep flushing. And you may have to write it 5 fucking times if that's what it takes. 20 times. I don't care. Because if it's going to lead to your healing, and it will, then it's worth it. And the more you write that, you know what you're going to start to feel? Relief. You know what you're going to start to feel? Lighter. You know what you're going to start to feel? Empowered. You're going to feel like, fuck, I feel like what Sven sounded like when I was on the show. I feel stronger. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
And the more you do it, your kids will notice it. Mom, you're just stronger. You're different, Mom. Exactly.
Okay.
KC.
Well, the first thing I want to say about him and the woman that was in your house that cheated on, that was with him cheating on you, is that worse than mean people are stupid mean people. And they are just stupid mean people. That's all they are. They're stupid mean people.
Why are they worse, Casey?
Because when you're mean, you can be smart. You can have some kind of understanding of what you're inflicting on someone. But in their case, they're just mean and stupid because they don't even realize that they're the bad guys. They don't even realize that they are horrible people, and they are basically victim blaming.
Totally.
That's what they're doing.
Totally.
They're victim blaming.
Yeah.
When he says to her that it's her fault, all this shit is her fault, he's victim blaming.
Oh, for sure.
You are a victim. You are a victim of a mean, stupid man.
Yeah.
That's what you are.
Yeah.
You're a victim. And I feel bad for you. I don't blame you for the things that went wrong in your marriage. No. Because if things go wrong in a marriage, not mean, stupid people just tell the other person what's wrong. They allow them time to fix it. And if it can't be fixed, they part company. They don't cheat and lie to each other.
Right.
That's the first thing I want to say.
Well
to you.
said.
The other thing I want to say is that I have been exactly where you are. Right? I have been cheated on and abused by a man and had the feeling that I was still in love with the man after all the bullshit that he put me through. And, I started going into therapy, and from therapy, I was advised on certain self-help books. And I spent a good 2.5 years just going into my stuff, reading self-help books, getting aware of becoming aware of things and dynamics that were going on between me and my ex and my past. Sven just wrote a new book, Cheating Sucks. I would recommend that you pick up that book. If you can't afford the book, I know that your library will pick up a copy for you and then lease it out to you. But just dive into self-help, even if you can't afford therapy. Start doing the work yourself. And then what will happen is that you will meet somebody and you will be happy.
Oh, yeah.
And you want to know what? He will be jealous of you. He will be upset. But at that point, none of it will matter
You
to
won't
you.
care.
You won't even care.
No.
You won't even care because what you care about right now and what you want is not his love. You just want to be loved.
That's right.
It's not him.
It is a little bit, maybe, but go on,
It
Casey.
doesn't sound like he has any qualities other than the fact that they share a family together.
True, but you
which they
can miss somebody that's even shitty to you. You can.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
You can miss somebody, but when you're out of that feeling
Oh,
and
for
you're
sure.
in love with somebody
Yep.
else,
Yep.
you start to realize that, oh shit, you know what? I wasn't really in love with that person anymore. I wasn't missing them. I was just missing love.
Yep.
And that's it. I just think, you're a strong person to have put up with all this stuff.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that he might be pulling the wool over your 19 and 20-year-olds, but it's going to be a lot more difficult for them to buy this story from him at 28 and 32 and 40
Yeah.
when they're women.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, there's
You
some.
don't have to say a word.
Yeah, you really don't. And you are
don't have
so spot on, Casey. So spot on. Casey, let me ask you, how did you change with regard to just as a woman and how you saw life? Not even necessarily your divorce or whatever, but how you saw life from, say, when you were 22 versus after, specifically roughly age 35. I believe that people change at right around mid to late 30s. There's a shift that happens in the human animal, male or female, that we just.
Absolutely.
And what was it
Huge.
for you? What was the biggest shift?
I mean, I think what I would put up with and what I realized I deserved as a woman.
Yeah.
I was treated so badly and I thought he was the only one, that would be for me, especially because we had a daughter together.
Yeah.
And I realized once I broke free from that I deserved to be treated better. And there were plenty of men out there that would love me and treat me better. And you are a physically beautiful woman. You're
Yeah.
a young looking woman. I mean, there's no, and you're a kind woman. There's no reason for you not to have love.
Yeah, and the only thing that'll be the best thing, one of the best things that'll come out of your healing work is that you will get stronger, and that means you'll stand up for yourself, and you'll especially begin standing up for yourself in the beginnings of a relationship, so that patterns don't get laid in a relationship where you're 2 years, 5 years down the road, and you're eating a lot of shit, and you'll be nipping it in the bud. But Casey brought up a really good point, Anya. Casey brought up a really good point. And I want to ask you a question. What percent, if you were to be totally honest, what percent do you feel strong right now? Be honest.
It's okay, be honest. It's hard because I feel like it ebb and flows from day to day. There's days where I wake up and I feel really strong,
Sure.
and then there's other days I can have a really great weekend and feel strong, do yard work, and it's like, all right, I'm just renting this house and I feel good. And then I can have a day where I feel 10%,
Sure.
I can get
So-
kicked down and not be able to get out of bed.
On average, or over,
On
let's say
average, right now-
this last 6 months or year, your average is
Yeah.
what?
Maybe 35%.
Your average is 35% strength.
Yeah,
And 4 years ago, when this all broke, 3 to 4 years ago, or 4, whatever the number was, when this all
Yeah.
broke and you moved out, what was your strength level at on average back then?
Oh my gosh, I'd say a negative 30.
Okay, a negative 30%.
Well, because I stayed when I discovered the affair. I stayed for 4 years.
Wow.
I stayed to try to work it out
Got it.
for 4 years, put in the work. I went to counseling by myself.
Right. And you weren't, I mean, yes, you did need counseling to make you
Well,
stronger, but we know who needed, right. Got it. Who
yeah,
should have
no,
been
no,
there.
we went to one session and then the next day, he's like, yeah, he's like, I'm not going to that. He's like, you can go by yourself. He's like, you need to work on you.
Which you did because you thought it must be
did.
true because he doesn't want me. I must be the problem. The load of shit that you bought into, right? And I don't blame you for that. And so what's fascinating about that story is you were at negative 30% 4 years ago, and now you're at 35%. So you've experienced a 65% swing in your strength level.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
So isn't it reasonable to assume that if you really tear into the work now, isn't it really get in and get after those feelings and start flushing all that shit out, the anger, the sadness, and the love especially, that if you start flushing that out, isn't it reasonable to assume that your strength will increase?
Yes.
Okay, now, one particular note on that, and that is this. The biggest shift that needs to happen is in how you define strength. Unhappy people define strength basically as, oh, I can take it. It's no big deal. I can take it. A little bit more on, no big deal. I can handle it. And they take it, and they take it, and they take it. And they have this giant bag of 500 pounds of rocks on their back because they're always taking it. And they define strength by how much they can handle. Happy people define strength by how much they no longer handle. By the word no.
Very interesting.
Yes. They define strength by all the rocks that they can unload, and not just setting boundaries, but holding boundaries. That strong people stand up and say no. It's a different type of strength. Now, yes, occasionally we have to take some stuff like from our kids, we take a little bit, or, there's always in any relationship, there's give and take. But for the most part, it's not, I can take it anymore. No, I don't want to take it. That requires a different type of strength. So you are an enormously strong person, and your strength, that type of strength, your strength has been working against you because you are super loaded in one type of strength. Super loaded. And you are very, very strong, actually. Obviously. You took it and took it and took it. That's strong. It's like Rocky, man. He could take all these punches. It's like Rocky, throw a fucking punch, would you? Yeah, you can take it. Great. Knock the other guy out. And he finally did. Well, that's what you're about to do. You're about to start standing up and saying, no, you don't get to treat me that way. And I'm not necessarily just referring to him. Obviously, he's largely out of your life, though obviously you still interact. But just with regard to life in general, as you do more and more of this. And that's what KC was referring to and what Rob was referring to. In this notion of deserving it. I deserve it. Because what saying no is, it's founded in the belief, the core belief, wait a minute, I matter. Fuck this. I matter too. That's the fundamental belief. And your whole life, you've been afraid of that. You even said, I struggle with being replaced. I struggle with him moving on. Right, the fear. That I don't matter, and if you leave, it confirms, see, I'm no good, see, I'm not lovable, see, I'm no good, I don't matter.
Yeah.
Your mattering has to come from you. Your whole life, you've been wanting someone to confirm to you that you matter. You've been trying to get it from an external power source, a spouse, a parent back when you were a kid, now from your kids. I need somebody to convince me I matter. No, life is fundamentally breaking you and saying, do you matter to you? Yes or no? That is the fucking question that life is asking you right now, and only you can answer it. And the more you get that pain out, the answer will come up a resounding hell yes, and you will begin to say no. Do you have any final questions for us, for KC, for Rob, for me? What questions do you have?
I mean, I've done a lot of work. Like, is there a time, or does everyone just heal on their own time and journey? And sometimes I feel like, I should be over it.
There is no should.
Yeah.
And so wait a minute, are you asking the question of why is it taking so long?
Yeah, I'm post-divorce 3 years, and sometimes I feel like my kids kind of are like, I should just be over it. Like, you should be fine, Mom. It's enough time has passed.
No, they do not get the right. No one has the right.
Yeah.
I can recall my mom telling me the story of my dad's mom. Okay, she would tell the story because she knew they were married back then. But my grandfather, he died up on the family farm up in Kitson County, Minnesota, Halleck. And he died when I believe he was 58, was laying on the ground under a tree, whatever, in late fall, and caught pneumonia, I believe is how he died, at the age of 58 or 59. And so each of the brothers had to go up and run the family farm for a year. They took turns. And after a year of grieving, the country pastor came to my grandmother and said, "All right, Valberg," that was her name, weird Swedish name. "All right, Valberg, it's been a year. That's enough." It's like, no, fucker. You don't get to decide how long another person grieves. Your children, and what your children are fundamentally saying, what they're really saying by that, the underlying message is, I can't handle your grief. It's not that they're saying you don't get to, though it's very rude what they're saying, but they're not aware of what they're saying. What they're really saying is, I can't handle your grief.
Yeah.
I can't handle seeing you hurting, Mom. Yeah. And so in a way, it's a good signal that you need to do it on your own. And so let me ask you, I'm asking a different question though. What I'm asking you is, what do you believe? Do you believe you should be done by now? Or is this, I just feel sort of pressured by the kids? Be honest.
I just feel pressure.
Right.
I guess.
Right.
To be okay. Or to be okay in the eyes of the world that, let the infidelity go because your marriage was bad and,
What is the fear that if the eyes of the world don't approve of me, specifically, I'm assuming at the top of the list is your kids?
Yeah.
If my
and
kids,
some family members,
and who's at the top of the list of family members? Who's higher than your kids?
Well, I guess not higher than
okay.
them.
I mean, in terms of their judgment or what they might think of you, is there anyone higher than your kids whose judgment you fear more?
No.
Then who would be right after your kids? Sister, you said, or brother, or what?
Yes, sister's mom.
Your
sister's and mom.
Your sister's mom?
No, my sisters and my mom.
Sisters and your mom. And of those, who's the top? Whose judgment do you fear most? Sisters or mom?
Sisters.
Which sister? 1, 2, 3, 6. Which one? You don't have to give me a name.
Youngest sisters.
And
youngest sister.
The youngest sister.
Yeah.
And so, of your children, which of your children's judgment do you fear most? 1, 2, or 3?
Oh, 3.
Okay. And youngest sister. And between youngest sister and child number 3, whose judgment hurts the most?
The youngest daughter.
Youngest daughter. All right. So child number 3 owns you.
Child number 3. Yeah.
Owns you. Now you got a shit-eating grin on your face. What is the shit-eating grin?
Because she is the most strong-willed, and I think that's the one. I think that was she was the hardest one. When I left, she was still in high school. So when I left and I said, I'm leaving, I want the divorce, I moved out, I felt like I was leaving her. Mm-hmm. Sure. And her dad and I both fucked up in the way we handled the divorce initially, and we both shit on her.
Sure. And so you feel guilt over that, and so you're eating her shit now.
Yeah. Okay. I'm getting her shit now, or I just want to make it up to her where I want her to feel safe. I want her not to feel like she's the punching ground.
Wait, you want her to feel safe and not the punching ground, or you want her to not be mad at you and be, judge you?
I don't want her to judge me, but I don't want her to feel like I'm not a safe person.
Understood.
So
and let me ask you, have you completely changed your course from where you were at the beginning of the divorce? Are you very safe for her? Yes. Generally, okay. So that's not really the issue. So now what we're really talking about is you fear her judgment.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So she fucking owns you. Now, you have to understand, you may need to make clear to her, sweetheart, you having issues with me and how I've treated you, you have every right to have those issues, and I am more than willing to look at those and own those. And the pain I've caused, and I'm willing to feel it and own it. You getting to judge me for my grief is not okay. And if you don't draw that distinction, she's going to lead you around by your fucking nose, and she's going to hurt you. She's going to take advantage of you, because children are just children. They don't know what the fucking boundaries are, even at 19 or 25. They don't know.
Yeah.
She doesn't, and if you allow that, then you're just eating shit because you're afraid of her. No, you have to protect your boundaries. This is where your nose starts. This is where your I matter starts.
No, you're very right.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. And so the bottom line is, it's like you have every right to grieve, and I will grieve on my time. And they've never been through this. I was in a 6-year marriage, and it took me about 2.5 years to grieve. You were in a 17-year marriage.
Yeah.
Nobody gets to tell you the time frame. But I'm going to tell you this. You just do this fucking deep work that I'm talking about. The journaling, the letter writing, those two things. Just do that on the anger, the fucking rage, the sadness, and the love and longing. You just repetitively do that, and you will begin to shift overnight. I guarantee it. And I want you to come back on the show because I want to hear how this fucking goes. Okay? But I want you to dive into those things, and you will begin to feel stronger. But you have to, your daughters need you to be strong. They don't need you to be a fucking pussy. They don't need you to be a fucking pushover and fearful of them, because then you're giving away all your power. And then you've got the inmates running the asylum. Children don't know what they need. They need you to be strong. Even if you got to fake it sometimes, they need you to be a mom. They don't need you seeking their approval, especially at this age, because they're weak right now. They are. They put on a good show, but they are weak. They need you to fucking heal and be strong because they just need their mom, which means they need your comfort. They need you to hold your boundaries and be tough and scold them when they fucked up. Hey, you still have chores here, young lady. Come on. Come on. The dog's poop still needs to be picked up. Trash still needs to go out. These dishes need to be washed. Whatever it is, you got to hold them accountable. Otherwise, they'll just slough off. You got to be a mom.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yes, you're correct.
All right. All right. So you've got your assignments. Do those fucking letters and journal writing. I guarantee shit is going to begin to shift. Final question. What are you feeling right now? Give me one or two feeling words. Be honest.
I feel kind of excited.
Okay.
Just to have like the next steps or like some direction, you know, like, I don't know.
Yep.
Like, it's exciting to be like, okay, this is where I'm going to go. And
awesome.
This is what I'm going to do. And
feeling.
You know.
Okay. And one more feeling word. I feel what?
I feel empowered.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. And this is going to go well. Just do the work, and I guarantee shit will begin to shift. Just even when it's ugly, scary, when you're fucking tired, that's when you most need to do it. When you're so charged up with emotion, that's when you most need to do it. Flush, 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 flush. All right? Okay. Anya, so great having you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Sven. I appreciate it so much.
You bet. Casey, thank you for being a part of the show. And Rob, thank you. Yeah, you bet.
Thank you for your bravery.
And Rob as well. Final thoughts, Rob.
You've done it again.
No, Casey, and you did it as well. I was just the guy asking the questions.
I got to say, Anya had the best feeling words at the end we've ever had on this show.
Excited and empowered. Gotta love that. I love that. I love that. Love it. Well, folks, another wonderful person willing to open up and share their stuff and dive into it and feeling like she has some direction and is feeling strong. And that's what we love. And you too can have this. And it doesn't always require a therapist. If you can't get a good therapist, you can be doing this shit on your own. For those of you who are struggling with or recovering from or in the middle of cheating, please get the book Cheating Sucks. It just came out last month. It's brand new, and it's available at the website, badasscounseling.com, as audiobook and paperback, or over on Amazon, the paperback. But cheating sucks, and we all know it does. So, to all of our friends around the world, thank you so much for tuning in to another counseling episode of the Badass Counseling Show, and special thanks to our guest, Anya. Have a kick-ass day.
The Badass Counseling Show is strictly copyrighted. No copies may be made without the express written consent of the Badass Counseling Show, LLC. The Badass Counseling Show is produced by Karen Camparelli and Robert H. Friedman. Executive producer Sven Erlandson. Original music by two-time Emmy Award-winning composer Trevor Morris. Have a kick-ass day.